when it's so hot out, you don't know what to wear. Because no matter what you wear, it's still smoking hot. Like, I have no idea how I'm wearing this mask right now. I really don't.
Yeah,
it's crazy, you guys.
Stuffy.
And you know, my shoulders are the first to go in the heat. So we walked by here yesterday and they did something super cool. I'm gonna show you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay, hold on. Is that not the coolest thing ever? Because you know, like June is, comment down below. Yeah, look, it's so awesome. Like, especially when there's no one here. Actually, this would make a good picture. This would make a really good picture. And look, remember how I told you every time you come here you get a sticker? It's a rainbow heart sticker. How cute! This orange juice machine that is freshly pressed orange juice with nothing added. We're gonna get some right now. So this is what it looks like. And you see the orange juice up there, makes it there, and makes it there.
That's cool. It puts it into a little cup. And
Yeah.
puts like a bubble tea.
Bubble tea.
There you go. How much did you put in?
$4. But it's actually $3, so I'm gonna get $1 back. Press the button. Oh, there we go. You see it? And then I can't even
See if it opens. Is it open right now or no?
No, I can't open it.
Unlocked, so it's done.
You can kind of see it. Oh, right there. There it goes. Freshly squeezed. And then grab a straw. I'll let Aaron have the first.
Oh, thank you. Pop it like a bubble tea.
Yep.
Oh. Mm.
Yeah, it's kind of sour. It's not really like too sweet.
They're imported oranges, that's why. Navel and Valencia.
Mmm. So good. Now, I'm gonna go get a corn dog because I'm so hungry. Mission failed because she said she's just starting up the frying pan because the mall literally just opened. So we gotta wait a little bit, which is okay because there's always something here.
All these little shops are just crazy.
Oh, for sure.
There's just bubble tea here.
All the bubble tea you want, literally. Krispy Kreme, anyone?
Lots of desserts in here. Wow.
Thai layer cake. Ooh, what is this?
Pendant chiffon cake.
Ooh.
Orange chiffon.
Here's my favorite sweet and sour crispy rice noodles. These are so good. What'd you get? Or what'd you find?
Some chocolate
Oh,
in a wooden case
what?
with elastics.
Oh my god!
And Thai milk candy.
Oh, these are the best Thai milk candy ever.
So I grabbed a bunch. 15 baht.
I used to eat this all the time. I still do actually, every now and then when I am able to find it. Oh my god, it's so good.
I think I still have some in like the center console of the car at home.
Yeah, I know. I brought so many of these back when I went back to Thailand. I went back home last time. These are what we used to eat instead of drinking milk, because milk wasn't accessible back then, right? So they used to give this out, or you could buy this at school.
Alternative.
Oh, so good. At the peak.
ฝากทุกไม้เลยจ้ะลูกค้าทานอะไรดีจ้าอะไรได้ค่ะ
Got our cheese. Enoki mushrooms. Oh, there we go. Got some of these. Yellow watermelon. Yeah. I wish they would just leave it like this. It looks so pretty. Dear all durian lovers, please take note of public sign that says no durian allowed. I'm telling you, it's not just hotels, it's train stations and public taxis.
Taxis really don't like
Yeah.
it. Did you buy durian?
Yeah. What's that smell? Is there durian in your bag? So we're getting ready to go outside. Hey, the sun's kind of
Cloudy. Here,
It's cloudy.
I suited up for nothing.
But Aaron has to do that because if he doesn't,
I
he
get burned within,
literally a minute.
yeah, I was gonna say 45 seconds, but yeah, a minute's pretty good too.
Yeah, he gets burned super fast, so he has to get suited up. I'm now gonna buy this. Actually, no, it's too hot. It's too hot.
Is it? Really hear the birds out here too.
Yeah, it's nice. But you see, even though there's no sun right now,
I can still feel it on my skin.
it makes no difference. It's still hot. Oh my God.
I know. they measured. I forgot my papaya salad, actually.
Oh.
I know. Somebody was distracting me.
Hey.
Some coffee we found
Yeah.
while we wrote just now.
I know it's like, why would you have soup in 100% humidity?
Why?
But you know,
Why would you? Tell
gotta-
them. Why would you do that?
I have no idea.
Because it's good still.
Because it's good stuff, you guys.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I honestly, I've been craving, you know, I don't know, something about this noodle. This Samyang stew type noodle. So there's something in here that I'm like, I could go for that right now. Come on. It's hot.
The only thing differently that well, you crave different things when it's this hot.
Yeah.
But in the, like you were just saying, the 100% humidity, the only thing I stay away from is hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
Like, even though there's a Tim Hortons and stuff here, I've had one.
It's just not the same.
You just sweat like crazy. Like, even at home. Like, think about when we're home and I'm like, oh, I'm just going to go through the drive-thru and get a coffee. If it's winter, I have to unroll the window. You know? Because it's like, I'm hot. It just heats you up like crazy. So here, when you do it, you're just like, good night.
Sorry, I didn't hear a single thing you said because this is so good.
Oh, I'll repeat it. So, you know, like at home.
I'm just kidding. But no, I get it.
Yeah, it's
Cause, like,
just too hot.
But like when you're outside though, like I wouldn't eat this if it's like if we were sitting outside. You know what I mean? Like it's different when you're sitting in an AC room
But we have.
and you're eating. Oh,
It's just
true.
not as pleasurable. Like,
That cheese.
that boat noodle.
Oh man.
That's a good boat noodle. I really like it with these rice noodles now.
Notice the onions actually have like little ends on them. Yeah, I love how they sell it here like this.
That's interesting. Instead of just cut right off. You know why
I don't like raw onions, but I love cooked onions.
You know why they do that at home, I bet? Because the
Why?
onion regrows. So they probably just clip them off and then let it grow again. And so I bet you those are more tasty too. Because the more times you regrow it, the less tasty it gets.
How true.
It is, yeah.
Because these are so sweet when it's cooked. I mean,
Like, you can probably regrow a green onion probably at
The
least
ones-
4 times.
the ones back at home,
How many people have done that, and how many cuttings do you get off of it? I know it's lots. Like, it doesn't go forever, but
no, but
kind of like hay. That's why, like, first cut hay is more expensive than second and third, and I mean, I'll stop at 3, but I know there's probably at least 3 hay cuts that they get a year. It's the most nutritious too.
and
Little fact for people.
a little fact, and free range eggs here are so fresh
Yeah.
that if you ate it raw,
Yep.
it's like
Still warm.
wow.
I couldn't resist. I was trying. That's why I didn't say anything for like 6 seconds. I was like, what can I appropriately say to that? I had other things in my head, but
That's so good. And it's so creamy. I know some people are like, oh, don't eat raw eggs because it's not pasteurized and blah, blah, blah. But
they come in their own protective coating. Yeah. Eggs here are good. And for Thailand, like, even at home, I buy the good eggs. Like, I buy the free range omega-3s, and they're expensive. Like, but they're probably half price here because they're 90 baht. So that's like $3.50 per Canadian. So
yeah.
And at home, they're like $7. But I know that's expensive for Thailand, for Thai people, but. It's funny, I've seen so many people like a number of times I've seen this. People on like Thai forums and stuff like that. They're like, why are the eggs so good in Thailand?
Yeah.
Like, the ones I get at home, the yolks aren't even yellow. And it's like, well, you probably buy like the caged, you know.
Yeah.
They just eat the chicken feed. With some extra drippy sauce. This one's actually hard for me to eat because it's so drippy. And I always like, I'm always like, I just have to watch.
People were asking about this.
What were they asking? What's the deal?
What's the deal? Is it fading or is
It's a specially designed tattoo to make it look like it's faded and old.
But no, really.
It was very hard to do. No, it's in the process of getting removed.
Yeah.
So, laser removal, which takes anywhere from 8 to 12 sessions.
And you've had it for how many? I mean, like.
For the all, and they can only do on this something this big. They can only do one session, one small piece a month. So it takes 3 sessions to do the whole area. So it takes quite a long time.
Yeah.
And it hurts quite a bit.
Yeah, when he does it, you guys, his arm literally is like 3 times the original size.
Yeah.
He's
and
like,
you want to talk about sweating? Woo! That's a sweat day.
I kid you not, his like
It gets a little bigger.
Like watch him go through it makes me
You gotta think twice about your
like getting a tattoo.
skinning. Yeah.
Yeah. So make sure you think it over, you sleep on it.
And it's expensive to get done too.
Oh, for sure.
It's not cheap. Well worth it. Well worth it if you have something you strongly dislike.
Cause you're the ones like looking at it every day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Other people were always like, "Oh, it's all right." It's like, yeah, it's all right. Exactly.
Yeah, like I thought that. It's like, why would you remove it? It looks fine to me. Like it looks. But it was him. He's like, no, I can't. It's something at the time. I guess I don't know what the.
Just when you don't like something and you're just like, it's like, I don't know. I have the ability to get rid. I don't like that much, so I think I'm just going to take that opportunity.
It's funny. I'm enjoying this so much that I feel like I'm not really even talking.
My boat noodle's pretty good today too.
I wonder how long I could go without eating this spicy samyang noodles with rice cake.
Oh, that's it. Rice cakes.
Like,
And they're hard to find, those rice cakes here.
and then like when I saw it, you guys, I was like, oh my god, I thought I was dreaming. I literally thought I was dreaming because I didn't know they had it here even. I keep checking everywhere in the freezer section.
And when she finds them, she buys them all.
I stock up. And rice cake was one of the items in the freezer when we left for Canada that we had to keep the fridge on, because we thought we were going to come back after like 2 months, right? Or a month, not even 2 months. And then I was like, oh my god, if it wasn't for those rice cakes,
we would have turned the fridge off.
we would have turned the fridge off for sure.
But really, there was nothing that bad in the fridge.
Yeah.
Like last time. That would have been like, oh, like it's not like you had crab in there again. Like.
But I mean, if if somehow the power was off, like these would be really stinky because it's cheese.
But not as stinky as seafood.
No.
Seafood is like the absolute worst. Like, if you're gonna have something go bad in your, honest, I couldn't even think of anything worse. Like,
So funny.
I will that smell will never leave my mind.
No, it's funny because at the time when we walked up to our condo, in front of our door, we're like, is that the garbage? Like, we're like, where's that smell coming from? Like, we were even thinking, it was like, wow, this building needs to get a hold of like some insulation for like the garbage room, right? Because the garbage room is like not too far away, it's just down the hall. And we're like, oh my god. And then you open the door, I was like, oh my god, it's from our room.
Yeah, I knew what it was right away too. I was like, I know what that smell is.
Did you though?
I did.
You didn't say anything.
Yeah, I know. It has a very distinct odor, right?
Worst.
Like steak would smell differently if we left it in there. Do you know what I mean? Like everything has its own little, and seafood's just like, ooh. Like, anyway, back onto the food subject. Good transition.
Man, even in the AC room, I'm like sweating eating these noodles. I like that you can tame it down if, say, you can't eat that much spice, or you don't want the noodles to be too spicy. You just put more water, less sauce packet. But of course, the flavor is going to be,
It waters it down.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not going to be as good. But if you just want to try it, the flavoring is still there. Like, I know sometimes I put a lot of water and it's still like tasty, it's still spicy, but I prefer it less water, less brothy.
It just depends how people like it. Like me, when I make noodles, I put probably 3 times as much water in than she does.
Yeah. Oh, and you like your noodles super cooked.
Super cooked. Yeah.
Super cooked.
Yeah, and it takes me longer to cook it. I like that soupiness.
Yeah. Even in boat noodles sometimes, I only eat the surface. I don't eat the broth.
I love the broth. See, it's like I drink the broth. That's why.
Most people do. I don't know why I don't.
I was saying the other day that when we go back to Canada, this is going to be my ramen. Aw. I can sure go for some boat noodles.
You know.
And then she'll be like, well, let me check how hot it is today. Oh, it's 38. Yeah.
But still, though, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it.
Speaking of ramen, I could go for ramen. The good kind, though. The good kind.
There's good ramen here. It's just, I almost feel like it's nice to just keep it as like a Japan thing, you know?
Yeah. But it's also nice to be able to get it here if we really want it.
If we really wanted it, yeah. Yeah, we gotta find some good ramen at home in Canada. There's apparently a few places, but we just never got a chance to try them before we left.
In Vancouver, there is.
Even in Victoria.
Really?
Yeah. One of my friends, my
Oh,
friend
yeah,
who does
yeah,
my
yeah.
removal, him and his wife are very Japan enthusiastic, would be a good way, I guess, to put it. And yeah, I was talking to him about ramen, and then he gave me a good place in Victoria.
His wife speaks Japanese.
Fluent.
Fluent.
And reads it.
I'm so jealous.
He told me the other day, he's like, oh yeah, she was up at 5:30 there, she was practicing her kanji.
Oh my god.
I was like, what? I was like, that's awesome. They would be fun to go to Japan with.
Yeah. Definitely would.
Those exclusive, he's told me about like stories of them walking into places and like the disappointment.
Yeah.
And like he would tell me stories of like them when they went and they go into restaurants and stuff like that, and they see like the disappointment in the person working there behind the bar's face. They're like, oh, and they're like looking for English menus, and then she's a red-headed white girl, and he's a short Scottish guy with a giant beard, and in perfect Japanese, she's like, "Oh no, that's okay. I'll take the Japanese menu." And people are just like, "Oh,"
in awe.
And then it's like everyone's just talking to them because it's like such a different thing, right? She apparently went there to teach English for a number of years.
It's kind of like, you know, people who speak Thai here that aren't Thai. You know, it's like I'm always so amazed because I think Thai is just so hard.
It's hard.
Even for me, it's hard. You know, like the letterings, the characters. They're so like, even, holy, there's a butterfly. You see that butterfly?
That's not a butterfly.
That's a butterfly.
Really?
That is a butterfly.
How does it get up that high?
No, I'm serious.
I know, I saw it.
Butterfly.
Okay, yeah, I see.
That's getting old now.
Is it?
No.
No. Yeah, Thai is like, I don't know, like any Roman, like English-based language is much more easy for
Yeah.
an English speaker because it's like at least you can see it and you can be like, okay, that kind of looks like an N.
Yeah.
That kind of looks like a P with a weird thing above it. This
Yeah.
one, it's like, what does squiggle, line, house mean? Like,
Squiggle, line up. That's so true though.
yeah, like, and then you get into like Chinese and Japanese characters, you're just like, wow, it's like these are like
And then there's
artistic.
like not only characters but those accent
The
characters
accent
too.
things.
It's like,
Oh.
oh man.
Yeah, you get into that.
Like even like for me, if I was to read the newspaper and stuff like
Oh.
that, it is so difficult. Like I can kind of spell it out and kind of like read the word, but
well, you have
but like I don't know what it means. You know, half of the time when I read the newspaper,
well, for people watching, you basically have
a grade 2
an
Thai.
elementary school Thai, and then you've based on, obviously you've learned a bit more since then, but that's what your basis stops at, and then it went to English. So
Yeah.
at least speaking, you can learn it and learn it and learn it and learn it because you're always talking to people, right?
Yeah, like I speak better than I write. I speak better than I read.
And you understand better than you speak.
Yeah, I understand better than I speak. Isn't that so weird?
No,
No?
no.
Like
because you
sometimes
piece it together. That's why. So it's like to piece it together. No, you can have that one.
No, you can have
Okay. To piece it together is easier because you're like, oh yeah, okay, oh yeah, oh yeah. I see the dog run down the street. You
Yeah.
know, it's kind of like, oh yeah. Even if you get dog run street, you're like, oh, the dog's running down the street. Okay, I get it. Instead of like, how do I form this into a cohesive sentence? You know. To make it so I'm not saying dog run street.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I'm not looking like an idiot. Like, what? Oh, dog run street. Like, you know, people be like, what?
Yeah, but you know what I think like throughout the years,
Or wait, sorry, I should say street dog run because everything in Thai is backwards.
Backwards, yeah, it's
So you have to be like,
backwards.
oh, street dog run or street run dog probably even. It's like
yeah.
it's difficult.
Yeah.
People probably don't know that about Thai, that everything's like for some reason backwards.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is backwards. No, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. I think what helped me like remembering like Thai.
I know what this one is. I could put money on I know what this one's
What?
gonna be. My Thai TV shows.
And
Your mom.
yeah.
Yeah.
My mom when we moved to Canada, she would always try to speak Thai to us, and she would try to get us to speak back to her because obviously I think in her point of view it's like, well, if
It's your heritage, too.
Yeah, you know, like you
Yeah.
can't forget. But the crazy thing is or the crazy thing was that my sister and I would always speak English back to her and she would always speak Thai to us. Like it would be very rare that we would speak Thai back to my mom. I think that's also one of the reasons why I still remember Thai, you know, because of my mom.
For sure. And then maybe
Right?
that's probably why you understand it better.
Yeah, yeah. And then, like, as I got older, I started watching Thai TV drama, listening to Thai songs, and then when we started coming back to Thailand more often, like once a year when we were younger, you know, I slowly picked it up, and you know, in the beginning it was so hard for me to like communicate with, say, I don't know, when we went shopping or to the market to speak to like the vendors and stuff, like it would take me so long to think of a word and say the word.
Yeah.
You know, because I have to translate it in English first.
And the thing is, to people, other people, I don't know if this is like this in other languages too. I'm sure it is. There's a good number of them like that. But not even a similar word. The same word means 4 or 5 different things.
Yeah.
The same word.
Same.
So it's like, what is it? Dog. What's the my?
Yeah.
What's that one?
Yeah,
It's like,
it's like my means no. My means would. My. I don't know. I don't know how to like. Yeah. So
and it's all spelled the same, just with different little accents.
Yeah.
So and it's all sounds very similar, except a little bit of expression.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A little bit.
And
so if you're just like my,
yeah.
it's you've just said would instead of no.
Yeah.
Oh hey, would you like hot sauce with that? My. And then you're like would. What do you want wood for?
You actually said no.
Oh, did I?
My.
So it's like,
it's funny because when we were talking to one of our friends here in Bangkok,
when I was taking Thai lessons before,
which
I haven't gone back to yet, it's difficult, man.
That's another story.
That's a whole nother story. Don't get her angry right now.
We asked her. It was like, hey, do you think the Thai language has...
No, we were just talking about it, and I was like, oh, because she was like, oh, how's the Thai lessons going? And I was like, oh, it's so hard. Like today we were learning this and blah blah blah, and I was like, yeah, and then like how like words, exact same words mean like 5 different things, and she's like, what?
She's like,
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
And I was like, well, it's just the expression, and she's like, no. And then
like,
I did the my.
And she goes, oh yeah.
Oh, and she just kind of like stops for a second, and she's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. It's funny.
This realization, and she's like, oh, I didn't realize that, because it's just a natural thing, right?
Yeah.
Like,
so if I was to say something in Thai to you right now, I don't know if he would understand.
No, 100% no. Unless it's the word 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
No, I think he's giving himself.
But it's been a year and a half. Too,
I know,
though,
but like, เอาน้ำมาให้หน่อย เอาน้ำ
something water. Yeah.
I just asked him, can I have some water? Because
See,
I'm
and that's
so
what I mean
thirsty.
by understanding.
No, but anyway, speaking of translating and getting together with people, you guys, we just bought plane tickets to go see my mom. So we'll see how that goes, because honestly, we've searched and we looked and we've tried to do our own research on what, as a responsible human being, we should be doing if we flew there. Do we need to get another COVID test? Do we need to get, all these things? And
it's by province.
It's by province, and I even called the airline to ask them if they needed anything from us to get on the plane, and they said no, it's just regular boarding pass and your ID and things like that. But she said that when you land is when you have to find out what you have to do when you get there. So
we have all of it in check, and fingers crossed.
Yes, and we have a place to stay. And no, we're not staying at my mom's because we like to give her some privacy, and we like our own privacy. That's one of the reasons why we don't have. One reason why my mom and us don't share a house, basically. Like some of you guys were like, well, why don't you live with your mom? It's kind of like, well,
where, here or
in general, in Thailand, like, well, it's like, well, we're grown adults, are we not?
Yeah.
Like,
I haven't lived with my parents in 20 years.
I know, but
more than that, actually.
so yeah, I'm so excited, you guys. I'm so excited. I'm hoping that the mangoes are still in the tree.
I think they will be.
I'm hoping.
I have a feeling.
By the time we get there, I don't know, man.
If they're not, they better be in the fridge. Fridge though.
Yeah, but even when you put fruits in the fridge, it still gets overripe.
Yeah, but not as long as sitting out. It's better. Kind of like when you buy it from the market. It slowly ripens though. Right? Like think about your papaya you left in there. It was still good after like
that's true.
5 days.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
You're so smart.
I know. It's difficult.
Wow.
It's difficult having all that going on all the time.
It's difficult to have useless
It's
information.
hard to listen to that many voices all at once.
But yeah, you guys.
Yeah, it is useless information.
When we get there, I'm not really sure how things are gonna be. So if I disappear for 14 days, it means we have to quarantine. Okay. But other than that, you guys, I feel like this day like doesn't come fast enough, you know, like to be able to go see my mom. Like I feel because we've been here for a month now.
Yeah.
Even though we've been out of quarantine for only like 3 weeks, it still feels like it's been a long time.
It does.
You know.
And everything is still locked down.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw in the restaurants today, though, people were sitting together eating at the mall.
Yay!
Yeah, I forgot to say that when we were there, when I was walking back to see you at the grocery store.
Like there's no barrier?
There's no barrier between like me and you. There wouldn't be a barrier, but there's barriers between other people, of course. But yeah, 2 people, 3 people sitting at a table together. So.
Yay! So, well, I mean, that's good news, right?
Yeah. It was funny because I saw like some other, well, I don't know if she was a tourist, but some other white lady, and she had 2 kids with her, and I was like, well, what are you supposed to do before if you have children? Like, say when we went to Outback, if it was like, if it was me and 2 children, it's like you can't sit children at a separate table.
That's true.
You know, it's like what
That's true.
You want them to operate utensils and knives and forks and everything by themselves. Like,
well, maybe if they were like old enough.
These kids were not old.
Oh,
That's what made me
like
think
babies,
of that. Well,
toddlers.
No, it was like the one
toddlers.
kid was like 3 and the other kid was like 6. So you know, it's like.
Yeah, that's got to be difficult.
Yeah. They'd probably just refuse you service or something and be like, well, you can't sit together or something.
Or you just don't go out and eat.
That's what, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's hard if you're a tourist here
and you didn't know.
Yeah,
or you don't have
just
the
got out of
app, or you don't have
like,
anything. All of that.
That's a lot of people rely on just going out, like, because it's like, okay, well, where are we gonna get it? Like.
Yeah. I'm really curious to see about remember how we were talking about the July openings and stuff like that. It's like really curious because I mean, yeah, they have like less than a month to get everything going, to have everything open. I just somehow don't see that like be full on operative by July.
I see them opening, but then I see people getting here and being disappointed.
Oh,
that's what I see happening because they're just gonna push it through and make it happen, and then kind of go from there. But it's going to be a bad start. I think you know what, my personal advice, if you were to ask me, it's like, hey, is it a good idea to come to Thailand right now for tourism? Yeah, I say no. Hey, they're opening July. Should I come for 2 or 3 weeks?
You know what? I'm not going to tell you no. I'm going to tell you, do your own research. Yeah. Make sure you know what's open and what's not open. You call them ahead of time. Hotels, resorts, restaurants. Anything that you are interested in coming here and exploring, whether it be, I don't know, if you have kids, you want to go to the zoo and you want to go see the elephants, like, are they open? Yeah. Are they still there even?
Because in Paragon, there is a underwater world kind of thing. Aquarium. Yeah. And it's closed.
It's been closed for a long time.
It's been closed, and it's still closed. So there's a lot of stuff like that's closed.
You know.
So my advice would be to anyone who asked me, I'm not afraid to say, no, don't come, because wait a bit, because it's not open as far as I know. But because it's so, living somewhere else, it's hard enough here to be like, hey, what's open? Never mind if you're in, you know.
But I will say this though.
And Google's not correct.
You know.
Don't rely, well, Google says it's open till 10 p.m. It's not.
It's not. Yeah. Like, we've done that a few times.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say, I will say this though. If you are planning to come to Thailand and just say sightsee, like sightseeing and being able to go, I don't know, to the beach and not really party and just enjoy, say, like the nature and things like that.
Totally. Yeah.
And I don't know, out of the city lime life, like party life, club life, drinking life, and all that stuff, I say come. Yeah. Because that you can still do.
If your activities are resort based, like if you're coming here to go scuba diving or surfing or hiking or something like that you can confirm things are open and your resort you're staying at is, oh yes, those are good. We have diving on, we have this, we have snorkeling. But things like clubs, restaurants, bars, supermarkets. Like who knows
Yeah,
what?
some supermarkets are closed.
Yeah,
Like,
or not very well. Because you got to think they've been closed for how many months in Phuket?
A long time.
Like,
a long time. And like I even read on this forum the other day about traveling and things like that, and people in other provinces, like in the resort area, or even just staying at a certain hotel, because I like to read what people are going through and stuff. And one of the hotels it's like a really well-known hotel. The hotel is open, but none of the restaurants in the hotel are open.
Yeah.
Nothing around the area is open.
Yeah.
They turn off the lights at a certain time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you might be the only one, or 2, 3, 4, 5 rooms in there.
Well, yeah,
you know,
you got to think, if a hotel, say a giant hotel, has 600 rooms and there's 50 people, they're not going to open everything. So
no.
Yeah. And as of right now, it still has to be a direct flight into Phuket. But the thing is, I just learned, say you're coming from Canada, okay? If you go Vancouver, Tokyo, Phuket, because a lot of places that you transfer through have a direct flight, so you would just have to look into that. It's not, you just can't go Canada, Tokyo, Bangkok, Phuket.
Yeah, it
like,
has to be a direct flight outside of Thailand.
It doesn't have to be a direct flight from your country.
Yeah.
It just has to land in there.
Yeah.
And they just put on a bunch more for Europe and stuff like that. So welcome, Europeans.
Yeah, I think that's what they're banking on too, though. Just Europeans.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, honestly.
Yeah, and other Asian countries, because they're so close.
Yeah, and of course, it's only for vaccinated people.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure.
At least it's getting going.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like one step forward. Hopefully there's no 10 steps back.
Totally.
Again.
The way I would tell people, if somebody was like, "Hey, should I come?" It's like, do you really want to be the first one and getting it going? Like, do you ever want to be that first person? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, let's see how it goes.
And it's like, I feel like, and a lot of people might not even have the time to, I don't know, come here and just say 2 weeks, and then you have to like isolate in just that one area.
Totally. But
you might want to, like, what if you can't even go anywhere?
But the thing is, you have to think of, it's kind of like to a lot of countries, Thailand is kind of like us from Mexico. It's a 4-hour flight.
Yeah.
So
it's not 14-hour flight for us.
19.
19. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's kind of like that. So it's kind of like I'll go to Puerto Vallarta and we'll stay in the resort. It's all inclusive. We'll just relax on the beach. I'm just got to get out of this, my funk that I've been in for lockdown.
Yeah.
It's not that distance for a lot of people. So
that's true.
Yeah.
Like in neighboring countries.
Yeah.
It's only
I don't know
4
how
or 5 hours. I'm sure the most is like 9.
Yeah, which is still nothing.
This is nothing.
It takes like 5 hours to fly to Toronto from Vancouver.
Like, that's like for us going from Vancouver to Tokyo. It's 9 hours.
Yeah,
like,
and that's...
How is that even like...
Doesn't seem like very much.
Yeah. Anyways, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching. Mwah!
Bye-bye.
I know I already said bye, but...
Yellow.
Have you ever seen yellow watermelon?
No.
I've only discovered these like not too long ago. Like,
is it kind of like yellow snow?
Yellow snow? What do you mean yellow snow? Ew! Oh.
Never eat the yellow snow. So my grandpa used to always tell me. That was his one strongest piece of advice. Never eat the yellow snow. Thanks,
and
Grandpa.
it still has seeds. Notice nowadays watermelon doesn't have seeds.
Do you know why?
GMO.
Yeah. They've been bred out to not have seeds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. But that's what I'm saying. They're all like this. It's so hard to find watermelon with seeds nowadays. And these taste different than the red ones. It's like a settle sweet. It's not too sweet, but still very sweet.
Pretty good.
Oh, I was gonna say, remember that butterfly I was telling you that we saw here? I'm gonna put a picture of it, what it looks like. Because Aaron was like, that's not a butterfly. I'm like, yes it is. It's one of those big butterflies.
Yeah, it was huge.
That's like,
Yeah.
it's like literally like the size of my hand.
Yeah.
It's like this. And it's black. It's got, I hope I can find it now.
You know what it looked like to me? A beetle, because it was so big.
Oh.
That's what I thought it was.
A beetle?
Yeah, like those giant beetles they have up here.
Beetles don't have wings like that though.
No.
No.
But it was already
And they're
past
like
when I saw it.
fat.
This because I just saw a big fat body and it was like already over there, and I was like, whoa. I knew it wasn't a bird, but and it was too high for a bird. Okay. I'll let it go now.
He doesn't know when to stop, you guys.
No, I don't.
Until it's not funny anymore, I guess.
It's still funny to me.
Jeez.
At least I entertain myself.
At least that. These are still small in this one.
I bit one earlier and it ruined my whole bite. Because
Really?
once you bite it, it's just gone into pieces.
But it's fine. It's edible. You can eat it.
And it's just crunchy though.
Yeah. Did anybody ever tell you when you were a kid, if you swallow any sort of seed, they tell you that it will grow inside your stomach?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
My grandma used to say that to me all the time. Don't swallow the seeds. It's going to grow inside your stomach.
My mom just told me not to eat bay leaves.
Oh my god, you have to tell them that story. Tell them that story.
I guess you're not supposed to eat bay leaves.
No.
But something my mom, maybe it was like clam chowder. Like, what do you have bay leaves in? Whole bay leaves. Some sort of a soup.
Stew.
Oh, stew. That's what it was. So she'd always tell me, make sure you don't swallow the bay leaves because it'll cut your stomach open. And I was like, yeah, it makes sense to me, right?
Yeah,
like, I don't know. And then believed it until
No.
I was until my elderly age.
And then?
And then when we got there, I was like, oh, take the bay leaves out. And she's like, well, yeah, of course. And
Yeah,
then,
sure.
And then I was like, oh,
Like,
there's
no
a bay
biggie.
leaf. And then she's always like, why are you swallowing the bay leaves? And I'm like, well, you can't swallow it because it'll cut your stomach open. She's like, what? What do you
No,
mean?
literally, like, he was so serious. I was, at the time, I was like, wait, are you, like, are you being serious? Like, I don't, because this is when we, just first met, right? So it's kind of like, I don't know when he's, like, being funny, trying to be funny, or trying to be sarcastic, you know? And I was like, at the time, I was like, no, they won't cut your stomach.
So I had to
What
call
do
my mother and ask her.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I was like, so, like, I'm with Sassy here, and we're eating something, and she says the bay leaves don't cut your stomach. And she's like, my mom's like, well, no, they don't. And I was like, what? What do you mean? Like, and she's like, well, I just told you that so you wouldn't, like, eat them. And it's like, well, you could have told me when I was an adult that it's now not true. Like,
But it was just, I just didn't know that, I didn't think you'd still believe it when you were, like, in your adulthood.
yeah. Man.
Cause it's kind of like, you know, like seeds growing inside your stomach. You kind of come to a term with that. No, that's not possible. You know, like, do you know what I mean? Like,
And she also told me about Santa when we got together too. That's another story.
kids are watching.
True. I don't know. It seems believable to me.
Yeah. I mean, when you're a child, you know.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It could be sharp. I don't know. It still doesn't seem even to me now though.
Wait, but you have to understand they're like the really dehydrated, dry kind.
Yeah.
So it's very like sharp and very
even when
dry, crumbly.
Or even when you get it wet and it's in like stew and stuff like that, it's still like a thick leaf. Like it's like, okay, it's not like a lettuce.
Yeah,
Like-
like if you chew it still, it won't break apart, sort of.
But yeah, I guess it's kind of out there.
That's okay.
We all have our things.
We all have our thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
I guess I guess would it be the same thing as if you were like superstition?
No. I was just stupid.
Don't say that.
It's like, thanks,
You're
Ma.
not stupid.
Made me look like an idiot.
No, but it's kind of like, you know, some believe if you walk under a ladder.
Yeah, that's just super. Cutting your stomach is just someone lying to you in your childhood and then having it go on for the rest of your life.
Okay, well, I was trying to make you feel like, you know, you're not.
It's
so...
not superstitious, you know. It's kind of like, I remember like when we were kids, like the kind of like the seed thing. If you swallow gum, it never comes out. You know, did you ever get told that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or it like stays in your stomach for 17 years or 7 years. You know, because
Yeah, it
it's
goes
so...
in some weird little pocket
Yeah.
organ. Oh, this is Wrigley's. This is gonna stay even longer. Oh, put this to the side. It's just Hubba Bubba. It's softer. It'll come out in 4. Like, there's this little organ with a little brain thinking it and sorting it out.
So funny.
Yeah.